Hello and welcome back to the crypto simulation. None of what I say in this video is intended to be financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Any price predictions or price talk that I make is purely for entertainment purposes only. You should always do your own research. So today I'm going to talk about the battle of the oracles. There are two main oracle players in the space, Chainlink, the OG, and Pyth, the new player on the block. There are other oracles such as Band Protocol, but I'm not going to talk about those today. I'm only going to focus on Pyth and Chainlink, which are both heating up right now. So which oracle is better? Which one should you invest in? Which one's is likely to outperform the other? Let's take a deep dive and figure that out. Chainlink is the OG oracle that runs on Ethereum, and it provides market and data feeds to basically allow real-world data to enter into the blockchain and to allow it to be authenticated. So we know that what we're seeing is in fact true. This goes for price, and this goes for other kinds of data as well. And Chainlink was a real pioneer in the oracle space. Chainlink does more than just provide price data to the financial markets. They're working on a lot of different projects, and one of the more recent ones you can find here, this was posted February 3rd, just a few days ago, how Chainlink CCIP can manage the atomic settlement of tokenized real-world assets. So if we're going to have authentic ownership of real-world assets, or the tokenization of that, we need a way to verify ownership. And to validate data, Chainlink's working on that. From Chainlink's website, here are some of the main uses of their oracles: financial services, DeFi, gaming, NFT collectibles, climate markets, enterprise, and insurance. They also have a partnership with Swift, which is an international payment settler. They are all over the place. Just to get an idea of how interconnected Chainlink is in the crypto world, just look at all these partnerships that they have across the different aspects of their business. Everything from DeFi to NFTs, gaming, and I mean, the list just goes on and on. DAO, Layer 2 grants, Launchpad, AI. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. And what about chains? Chainlink is integrated in a lot of chains. They've got a lot of connections spread out everywhere. What kind of products do they offer? I mean, just look at this. Just look at that. Latest in DeFi, latest in proof of reserves, latest in NFTs, automation. You know how I called Polygon the Google of crypto? I'm tempted to call Chainlink I guess we could use Google again if we want to, the Google of oracles. So, wow. I mean, and just look at all these partnerships down here. These are some major corporations, and Chainlink's even involved with Google. So, the question on everybody's mind is Pyth a Chainlink killer? Let's take a look and find out. Pyth bills itself as much more efficient than Chainlink and more aggressive at pulling accurate data, because their APIs use a different approach than Chainlink uses. Pyth is mainly focused on price data, whereas Chainlink is kind of focused on a whole lot of everything. I've also noticed that with Pyth, they tend to really come after Chainlink a lot, and they compare themselves to Chainlink, whereas I haven't really seen too many comparisons that Chainlink or Sergey's made to Pyth. So that right off the bat, to me, I guess it's okay for a company to do that, but focus on yourself, right? Just focus on what you're doing. Pyth is built on Solana because of their extremely fast processing speeds, whereas Chainlink's built on Ethereum. So again, they pride themselves on price feeds. That's mainly what they do, and they are, really good at it. So Here's some of the partnerships that they've formed, mostly with crypto exchanges and venture capitalists, firms, and they extend their price feeds out to all major chains. So let's take a look at some of the comparisons of Chainlink to Pyth and see what Pyth has to say. I wasn't really able to find much in the way of an objective analysis comparing Pyth to Chainlink because Pyth is such a new oracle. It's not new in the sense that it's been in development for a while, but it's new. It's a new oracle to the crypto space in the sense that it hasn't really been discovered until recently. So when it comes to comparing Pyth to Chainlink, this is what Pyth has to say. Their core mission is providing reliable price feed data. So they're not, at least as far as I know, trying to take on Chainlink in what they do in general, right? So Chainlink is much more broad. They acknowledge Chainlink's mission is to expand the capabilities of smart contracts by enabling access to real-world data and off-chain computation. They do leave out the price feeds, though, because Chainlink does do that, too. And Pyth's mission is to provide high-fidelity, high-frequency financial market data to end users securing their DeFi protocols. Anything from cryptocurrencies to foreign exchanges to equities to precious metals. So basically, that's their focus. Pyth's data comes from financial institutions in TradFi and crypto industries, whereas Chainlink's data comes from relayers or node operators. And so they also claim that Pyth uses first-party data that comes from exchanges, trading firms, and financial institutions. They feel that Chainlink is mostly getting third-party data. So that is kind of the back and forth between Pyth and Link, is that Pyth claims that Link's data feeds are, especially their price data feeds, are sometimes unreliable because they're not as dynamic as Pyth. Pyth claims it's available on more blockchains than Chainlink. I don't know how true this is. I mean, we did look at what was on Chainlink's website, and it seemed a lot more cluttered than this. But anyways, your competitor's not trying to make you look good. Data ownership, we already mentioned this. Pyth's data comes from data owners. Chainlink's data comes from node operators. Data fidelity, Pyth publishes aggregated price and confidence intervals for price feeds. I did notice that back when I was researching Pyth, and that was actually kind of a cool feature that I like. I feel like their price data and is going to be more reliable than Link's because they're trying to get a more true range of what the actual price should be, whereas Chainlink is looking at the median price. Now, I don't know if there's been any studies done to compare these two methods and say which one's better than the other. The median price could be a reliable method for all we know. Pyth does not use price triggers to prevent certain prices from being pushed. Pyth uses confidence intervals. I already said that. I feel like that's just repetitive. Oracle update frequency. Now this is where Pyth claims to really beat out Chainlink because Solana is able to process data a lot faster. Prices update every 400 milliseconds. So this theoretically allows Pyth feeds to update very, very fast. Whereas with Chainlink, they said it's a push model oracle where applications only get an updated price when certain conditions are met. So according to Pyth, it takes a 5-second interval for price feed updates to reach Solana. Again, I don't know how true that is, but it does make sense considering the difference in the blockchain speeds. Transparency. Pyth's data is verifiable on chain. Chainlink's data exists off chain, has to be verified on an individual basis, but that doesn't mean that it's inaccurate. Okay, but that is nice that Pyth is fully transparent with its on-chain data. Some special features. So benchmarks, confidence intervals, low latency, a native 1-hour EMA, on-demand price update model. and a verifiable random function, which Chainlink also has. Chainlink has proof of reserves and external APIs. This seems, I mean, it seems to me like Pyth is really stretching it a little bit here. Anyways, and they're criticizing what happened with the Luna Black Swan event. That that was a black swan. Okay, I mean, you can kind of tell where my feelings are on Pyth versus Chainlink. As far as the projects themselves go, Pyth has a lot to prove. There were so many projects that came along that claimed to be Ethereum killers. Solana being one of them. I'm not sure Cardano ever claimed to be an Ethereum killer. If they did, let me know in the comments. But Cardano, Solana, and if the chain themselves weren't claiming to be an Ethereum killer, there were people who invested in it that said that it would be. Like Polkadot was one of them, Avalanche. I don't think the future of blockchain is individual blockchains trying to outdo each other. I think the focus is more on interoperability. And I think it should be more on interoperability rather than, vicious competition. I mean, competition's healthy, but I don't really like it when the CEO of a chain comes out and criticizes another chain. That happened with the CEO of Solana coming out and kind of ragging on Ethereum. I don't like that. It just doesn't look good for the company doing it. So, Pyth does look like it has a good product, and I think the fact that they're on Solana is promising in terms of speed, low latency, and the transparent availability of price feeds. So, I don't think that they would necessarily replace Chainlink. In fact, I saw on Twitter or X, so Chainlink is just an oracle. Well, it's a lot more than that. Chainlink is a whole ecosystem. Look at all the what am I trying to say? The web. Look at the web of what they do. Market data, proof of reserve, Oracle networks, identity. I mean, there's so much here. They've got the verifiable randomness, which Pyth also has. You kind of need that if you're building a robust Oracle, and so on and so forth. And I know you can't really see all this. We kind of went through this already on the website, but this is just a nice graph of what they do. And I'd like to see Pyth do something like this. And, but I don't know if Pyth is just going to be focusing on price feeds. Maybe Pyth is just an oracle. I'm not trying to tear Pyth down. It just bothers me a little bit when companies kind of base their existence around being better than another company. At some point, you've got to kind of branch out on your own and really stand out. And I do feel Pyth has done that with their price feed oracles. One of the problems with Chainlink, and kind of the reason I've shied away from it as an investor, well, there's personal reasons, but there's also some reasons I've shied away from it this market cycle, and I honestly think it was probably a mistake. One of the mistakes I've made this cycle is not holding Chainlink. I actually had a bag of Chainlink that I bought around $6, but I did end up switching it out for something else, and I do regret that. I think that was a mistake. But I will say, Chainlink has some pretty bad inflation problems. If you look at their fully diluted market cap, it's $18.64 billion. With that kind of market cap, that should place them a lot higher up on the food chain than they are. But what's their total market cap? Well, it's just shy of 11 billion. So only what is it? 58.71% of their token supply has been released. I noticed that during the bear market of 2022 and even into 2023, Chainlink's price action was just very sideways. But their market cap was going up. The fully diluted market cap was going up. So if it weren't for the inflation, you wouldn't have seen Link perform so in such a boring way. It would have actually probably broken through a lot sooner than it did. If you look at the token unlock schedule, we don't really know when future unlocks are coming but you can see that there have been many, many unlocks, and these can be especially suppressive during a bear market. So yeah, it still does concern me that Link has so many tokens left to unlock, but what I like about them is just how incredibly vast their ecosystem is. And they've actually started to find a use case for their token. Their token just kind of existed somewhat as a meme for a while, but with Chainlink staking, you're starting to see the token take on a little more utility. And I don't really know a lot about the staking. Some of you probably know more than I do, but I know that was kind of a move towards providing more utility for the token than just kind of existing. So yeah, as far as the inflation goes, I'm a little skittish with it. I certainly wouldn't put a huge allocation of Chainlink in my portfolio, but I think having some makes a lot of sense. Again, not financial advice. Pyth's tokenomics look equally terrible. I'm going to give Pyth the benefit of the doubt because they haven't existed as long as Chainlink has, and Chainlink's tokenomics look very bad in the beginning as well. Pyth's fully diluted market cap is $5 billion, and I found that to be a little suspect. That's like, I think about a little less than 1/3 of Chainlink's fully diluted market cap. And a lot of that is just venture capitalist money. Their total market cap, however, is only $740 million. They've had a very impressive volume market cap ratio at 17.62%. That's nearly 2 1/3 times what Chainlink's pulling in. So it worries me a little bit, and we'll take a look at Pyth's token vesting schedule. You can see that they've got their unlocks. Excuse me for a minute while I try to not make this so ugly. But you can see they have unlocks coming. It looks like July, then again in June. So of 25. Now this is on a monthly basis. This is all okay. Something screwy here. Oh, that's what I have it selected for months. So yeah, it doesn't look like the unlocks are really gonna be that aggressive, but you do have a lot of supply coming in. So I think their unlock schedule gives me a little less anxiety, but I'm just not a fan of inflationary tokens in general. That's just more of my investing thesis. Chainlink's D.Fi token audit score gets 100 out of 100. Wow, that's a really great score. The only concern is a dump risk from a private wallet owning a significant percentage of the token supply. We have seen Chainlink dump on the market, but what token doesn't? So this is nothing really surprising. I mean, getting a score of 100 on here is pretty good. Look at this. I mean, it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. But like I said, there's still a lot of inflation to go with this one, so just keep that in mind. Bull markets tend to not care too much about inflation, and I think you can still make some pretty reasonable gains with Chainlink even with that in mind. But during the bear market, it can be a bit of a drag. I can't find a Pyth DeFi for Solana, but they certainly have all kinds of contracts with other chains, BNB, Base. This one's Base. I'm not trying to cherry pick here. It's just I was trying to look up top, and there's I was trying to pick one that wasn't just BNB, but we could look at both. A DeFi score of 0 out of 100. So transfer fee, missing liquidity, dump risk, inaccurate supply, centralized balance controls, potential honeypot. Again, this is not Solana. Pyth is based on Solana, and I don't know why, but if I've looked through this entire list, all 49, couldn't find Solana on here. So I'm not sure how much of this you should pay attention to. Got a 38 score on Binance. I looked on Ethereum, it got a 49. So all of the scores on other networks are very low. And again, I would probably just advise you to do your own research with Pyth, because I can't find the Solana analysis. This is Chainlink on the weekly with data going all the way back to 2017, Chainlink versus the US dollar. We know that Chainlink performed extremely well against Bitcoin, in fact, so well that it was dubbed the king of the altcoins. Let me show you. That's a really nice chart. Look at that beautiful uptrend against Bitcoin, all the way from 2018 till August of 2020, the end of the DeFi summer, and then a bleed down, and it looks like we're trying to find our footing again. Seems to me like where we're at is actually an area of some resistance, and I like this like bull formation that we have right now. That looks kind of bullish to me. Pyth hasn't been around that long, but I like what I'm seeing here. You also have a bull formation. It's like Link and Pyth we're thinking the same thing. So that's really good. So I have a question, which is and now this is of course is on the USD chart. I'm not going to bother to look at the Bitcoin chart with this little data. Which investment is going to be more lucrative to you? An investment in Pyth or an investment in Link? It's a really valid question. Not one I'm sure I could adequately answer in the context of this video, but let's take a look at the Pyth Link chart. We're going to compare Pyth's performance to Link's performance for the duration of, the past few months. Pyth has clearly been outperforming Chainlink since January 10th. So this is Pyth versus Link. Pyth had a pretty interesting drop into its existence, which actually isn't that different from what first happened to Chainlink. I'm going to show that to you in a second. But really nice recovery out of this local bottom, which whipped all the way down to 17.5 cents. So congratulations if you grabbed that. Let's take a look at how far we're up from the bottom. And it looks like we are, if you count this wick, we got all the way up to an 82% rise. And this is during a time when Bitcoin has been trying to find itself. Right now we're up about 55%. So, honestly, that's pretty impressive. A really nice recovery coming out of this awful drop of 54%. So that's something you like to see. And it really looks like Pyth is trying to build the strength to take out its prior all-time high. And I think that there's a good chance that it will. I can't tell you that it'll happen right away, but I think there's a safe bet that could happen. Let's compare this to what's been going on with Link, and let's look against the US dollar. Oh, you know what? For a minute there, I forgot that this was Pyth versus Link. I was talking as if this was Pyth USD. So let's reframe this again. My apologies. I get a little sidetracked by my own talking sometimes. So Pyth had a 54% drop against Chainlink originally, and then it had a corresponding rise of around 82% against Chainlink. So Pyth is clearly outperforming Chainlink right now, and it's a newer coin. It's got a lower market cap, so it makes sense. I mean, from an intuitive standpoint, that an investment in Pyth could pay off very handsomely. But it's also more risky because Pyth hasn't really proven itself yet. So in the battle of the oracles, does it really need to be a battle? Can we have a crypto space where both Chainlink and Pyth can coexist? I think so. I think Pyth can become the price oracle feed for the crypto space without really interfering with Chainlink's kind of one-size-fits-all oracle approach. I think they can coexist. I'd like to see them coexist. I don't want to see Chainlink monopolize the crypto space. I think that Pyth has a lot going for it. I'd like to see it develop out its website a little bit more. I'd like to see their team doxed. I did watch some YouTube videos on Pyth, and for the record, I do not hold any Pyth either. I did for a short time, but I ended up selling it for something else. And that's just because of my personal preference to not invest in highly inflationary tokens. I can't tell you what to do, and nothing I say here is financial advice. But I think if I were to include Link and Pyth in my portfolio, I'd probably have a higher allocation of Link than I would Pyth if I were being a responsible investor. I I think it's just fine to devote a small percentage of your portfolio to some Pyth to speculate on it. I think there's a good chance that it does become a successful oracle. I have concerns about it, which I've already raised, and about the team, which I'll say the YouTube videos the team put out are fantastic, but you'll find a lot more information on Chainlink. I feel more secure. Personally feel more secure holding Chainlink, even though I know it's not going to perform as well as Pyth. It's this is not Chainlink's first rodeo, and it has to deal with diminishing returns, which Pyth doesn't have to deal with because Pyth has only been on the market for a short time. So thank you for joining me in this special episode of the Crypto Simulation, where we took a deep dive into two beautiful oracles in the crypto space. I hope that you have success with Chainlink, that you have success with Pyth should you choose to invest in them. I'll be rooting for you. I think they're both fantastic projects in their own right. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you can be notified of my latest releases. Also follow me on Twitter, and if you want to know how I use my indicators, I have tutorials on my TikTok, which is also linked in my YouTube description. And I'm actually going to put links to the TikTok and Twitter in my video description to make it easier on you. The Crypto Simulation's only been on YouTube now for, I think, a little less than a week, or around a week. So thank you to all my new subscribers. You're fantastic, and I can't wait to bring you more high-quality, data-driven content. Now, as far as Pyth and Link go, I would like to do separate videos another time looking at their price in more detail. I really didn't want to turn this into an hour-long video, and it would easily become that if I decided to do a deep dive into their price analysis. So hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again next time.